I'm going to be showing us what we are going to be designing, just so we have it at the back of. We are going to create a 4 by 6 inches flyer, a 4 by 6 inches flyer, which for me, I feel it's a regular flyer size, but it can be any size you want. So, but we'll be using a 4 by 6 flyer size. The resolution is going to be 300. This determines the depth of your text and images. So you would want to keep your resolution at 300, depending on what you want to use it for. So having done that, you just click on create. I assume that most of you already have your Photoshop installed, so you can just follow me as I go on this course. So all you need to do after inputting all this is to click on create. Then this is the Photoshop artboard that we are talking about. So on your left, you have all the tools you'll be needing for this to design your flyer. Briefly, I'll go through all these tools, if not all, but I might just go through some without explaining them, basically because you might not be needing them anytime soon. But the ones you'll be needing for this course and possibly other courses, I might go in depth into some of the tools, but for some, I might just skip through it. So first on our list is the move tool. I call it the pick tool, but the name is the move tool. The move tool basically is used to move items around your artboard. Before you move an item around your artboard, you must click on the move tool before picking any item on your artboard. For instance, I'm going to give you instances. Let's assume we have this box here, and I want to move this particular box. Before I can move this particular box around this artboard, I must first of all, let's assume one of these other tools are selected. I must first of all click on the pick tool or the move tool before moving the box. If I don't do that, if I don't click on the move tool, I won't be able to move this box. So for me to be able to move this box, I must click on the move tool, then before coming to move the box around the artboard. So having said that, the next tool, I'm sure we already understand what the move tool is for. Basically, it's used to move tools around the artboard, and you can also use it to increase the size of your object. By picking it from the side of the object, you can use it to move the object by the side. So depending on how you want to move the object, but before you do that, you must pick the move tool before you be able to transform your object, do whatever you want to do with the object. You must pick the move tool. The next one on our list is also the object selection tool. Okay, I didn't go through the other ones. It's the same thing, just that this one gives you flexibility. See, this is the difference. I just drew around it. I drew, and I'm getting this shape. That's for the lasso tool. I just drew on it. But I bet you might not be needing it for anything. That's why I'm not. And the other one is magnetic. You just have to, it magnates around your object. That's all. So, but I assure you, what you'll be needing more often is the polygonal lasso tool. Now the quick selection, the object selection, and the magic wand tool. I'll briefly go through the quick selection also and explain the other ones. The quick selection also works. It's also used to select and delete items, or you can also use it to create a shape. For instance, this is what the quick selection does. See, I just used it to select all my artwork. It automatically helps you to select an object. For instance, if I have a shape like this, and I want to quickly select inside this shape, I can easily use the quick selection tool and it to select the shape for me. So that is basically what the quick selection does. Or for instance, if I have a particular image and I want to quickly select around the image without having to use the polygonal lasso tool to cut through that image, I can easily use the quick selection tool to do that. So that is that for the quick selection. You can use it to select your object as quickly as possible for any form of modification you like to do. The next tool we have is the crop tool. I know everybody knows what the crop tool is, and what this crop tool does is it helps you crop your artboard properly. Maybe you've selected a particular size of artboard and you want to shrink it or make it a square or whatever you want to do. For instance, if I want to make this a square, I can just click here and double click. I've converted the artboard to almost a different shape already. And on here, I have different presets, like presets, the 4x5, this 5x7 shape, the 16x9. These are presets you can use. So I think there's no much you want to know about that, but if you intend to crop your artboard, you can use your crop tool to adjust the size of your artboard. The next one is for frame. It is used to insert images, like you can see on your screen. You can use it to insert images into an object, for instance. Or what you can also use that particular part for is when you have an artboard. If I have an artboard, for instance, I can easily use that particular tool to move the artboard to a different location. But I assure you, this particular tool is beyond the scope of this course. This one we are actually going through presently is actually an advanced way of creating magazines. You can use it to create magazines. This particular tool, like move different artboards for different pages of magazines. This is a pick tool. You can use it to select colors. For instance, let me go through, let me drag an image and go here. Okay, drop this. I want to pick the green color. I'm using the eyedropper tool. I call it the pick tool. The eyedropper tool. Sorry. If I want to pick a particular color on this logo, I can just click on this and it automatically picks the color for me. If I want to pick the yellow, it picks it and adds it to the foreground color. If I want to pick the red, and so on. So that's basically, I think on this item, that's the tool you'll be needing more. We explain other tools in other classes, but this particular eyedropper tool is what you'll be needing more often. You might end up not even using any of these tools in all your projects you might be doing, except maybe the ruler. But every other tool, these other ones are for photography. So this eyedropper tool is what you'll be needing, and I'm sure with this basic explanation, you should know what it's for. Just to use to pick your colors on your art board. So that's just it. The next one is for images, is for pictures. It's used to clean. That's what they use most often time, to clean images on the pimple on people's face. The spot healing brush, the healing brush, the patch tool, and so on. So you can use that to clean pimple or whatever blemishes is on people's face. That's the tool the photographers use to treat those images. As time goes on, subsequently we might have to have a photography class, but that will be in another course entirely. But that is the tool that is being used to do your retouch and all that. So the gradient tool is basically, you can use it to apply gradient to your artboard. So you can see how I apply gradient. I'm applying gradient based on the foreground. The text tool is used to get text into your artboard. So before you can type any text on your artboard, you must select the text tool. So once the text tool is being selected, you can do two things. It's either you click on the artboard to type, or what you would do is you drag on it to type. I just explained two scenarios of using the text tool. It's either you click on the artboard and type, or you click on the artboard and drag it, like you can drag like this and type. Now briefly, the difference is that while you can type and have it in a particular space, that it shouldn't go beyond this space, the other, which is the first one, is not bound by this space. It goes outside. I'm sure you are seeing the difference. So if you are designing a magazine, for instance, using Photoshop, you would want to use the second one so you can bound it and tell the text not to go beyond these boundaries. Today we'll be designing a flyer, and like I said, we selected this flyer because it has most of the things we'll be needing. So this is the flyer we are going to be designing. So I'm going to go over it and we'll start by designing it. So first, let's create a new layer, and it's going to be a 4x6 layer, 4x6 artboard with a 300 resolution, and we'll click OK. So first we need an image, which is maybe a burger image. So sorry, I might have to quickly get a burger image. So I'm just going to pick a random burger image. So you can just, okay, let's use this. Let's use this. I hope it's JPEG. Okay, let's use this. So first we already have our burger image. I think that is all we'll be needing for this particular project. So this is the artboard that I created. All I'm going to do currently is to drag my burger into Photoshop. I've dragged it into Photoshop. All I need to do is double click, because I can adjust first, then double click. You can see that I adjusted it and double clicked on it. So the next thing we would want to do is create a shape. The next thing we want to do is what? Create a shape and put it on it. So I'll go back to the flyer so you can see what the flyer looks like. Now this is the flyer. We have the burger and we have a shape on it. If you can look at it, you see that we have a blue shape that is being spread out. So we are going to do that. How do we do that? Remember I told you about the rectangular tool, which is this. We are going to use it to create a shape on it. And remember I told you if we want to pick this color, what do? We use the eyedropper tool. Remember the eyedropper tool to pick this color. We have picked, you see the foreground has changed. So if I double click on the foreground, I can see the color code here, or I can just go here. Automatically that will be the foreground color on the page. So I just on my layer I'll just double click on it and then click on the foreground color. It automatically changes to the color I picked using the eyedropper to remember. So having said that, the next thing we would want to do is to pick our text too. We are going to pick our text too, and we would want to write tasty donuts. How do we do that? We just click on text, then click here, because we are not trying to bound it like as though we are doing a magazine. So we'll just click on it. Remember, then we can change our color, the color of our text here, by clicking here and selecting white. We can change the size. Remember, we can adjust. You remember I adjusted, so we can change it back to 0 so that it comes back together. Now we are going to type what's it called? Tasty donut. That's a tasty donut. So and if you check it, they are all in capital letters. So remember I told you about the clicking here will convert everything, change everything to capital letters. Let me drag it down using the pick tool. See the pick tool, I'm dragging it down. Now I need to adjust the height in between them. How do I do that? I'm going to go to my character layer, and I'll just increase it so that it will separate the donut from the tasty. So you can see that. Then I'll increase a bit and also increase the height in between them. Then center, you might not need, just find the center. If you have this type of my Photoshop, it will help you look for the center like this. So now we might want to make it as so it looks exactly like this. So we'll have to change the font. The font that was being used here, I think, will be Arial, which is this. Then we can increase the size. Now we have this. So now the next thing is to change the bottom part to yellow, and if you see the up part was reduced. So how do I do that? I click on my text tool, I highlight the part I want to adjust and reduce the size. And if I want to adjust this part, I click on it and I can change the color from here by just clicking on the color section under the character in dialog. Just click on it and I can adjust my color here. And I click OK. Then OK. So if you can see, we have it. Okay, there is an S on their donuts. So we have it like it is here already. Like you can see, we can adjust all together now. I'm using the pick tool to adjust the text. The pick tool, I'm using it to adjust the text. And we are keeping it here now. So the next thing we would want to do is to create a rectangular shape. This rectangular shape. And how do we do that? You already know how to do it. You click on rectangular tool and just drag a rectangular shape here. And you know the color. You can change the color by double clicking underneath the layer panel. You double click inside the thumbnail there, the layer thumbnail, and it comes up and you can change it. I don't know what color it was. I think it's green. Let's check. Okay, it's still yellow. So you can select it and select yellow. You might want to make it the same color. Just use your pick tool from the color picker to select that and click OK. Next, you create you type your text. You pick your text too, because you need to type inside of this, but you don't type inside of it because it might just, there's a way to just go in. So you type outside, then drag it there to align. So it's enjoy our delicious donuts. So you're going to type that here. Let's reduce the size and change the color to white so we see what you're typing. Let's reduce it some more. So we say enjoy our delicious donut. So you select the pick tool and drag it down to where it is here. Then you adjust the size. You can use this or you use this. So for me, I will advise you to use the picker tool because it's faster, or you can keep using the size panel option to adjust your size. And once you're done, you can center that. Now the next thing, as you can see, this flyer it was at the end, and we have a circle and another circle. We have two circles, if you can see it. So the next thing we need to do is we just adjust this because it came far a bit. Select this. I'm using the pick tool. The pick tool is selected. That's why I'm able to do all these things still. So
we'll do that.
Yeah. So you adjust the size. Next, you are going to select this ellipse tool, and we would want, okay, let's change the color. We need to change the color still to this color. You know, that's how it is here. You know, so the next thing is the circle, which is the ellipse tool. So we are going to select the ellipse tool, and like I told you the other time, I said you should hold shift to have a perfect circle. So we are going to hold shift and drag it to have a perfect circle. I'm having a call. Should in case I go off, I'm having a call. So the next thing, like I said, if you want to create a perfect, I'm going to go over that again. If you want to create a perfect circle, you need to hold your shift key after the ellipse tool has been selected. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to hold my shift key and then drag my ellipse tool. You see, it's a perfect circle. And remember, this the color of your circle is going to be based on your foreground color. So you might want to set your foreground color before doing that, or you just double click on the layer thumbnail of your shape and change the color to white if you want. So if you look at our flyer, we have a white circle there. So all I need to do is adjust it to fit properly as it is on the flyer we can see. So I'll just adjust that. Sorry, I'm just adjusting that, holding my shift key. Don't forget to hold your shift key. I think I've distorted it already by not holding the shift key, so I'm going to do that all over. Okay, it's back. Just make sure you always hold your shift key. If not, you mess the circle up and you have to create another one. So I haven't messed the circle up. Okay, still okay. So oh, okay. I think so, sorry about that. That should have been before I created it. Change it to white and all that. So I haven't gotten to this point. The next thing we would want to do is we need to create the one outside of it. How did they come about that? It's very easy. All you need to do is you are going to duplicate this circle. You are going to duplicate this circle. How do you duplicate? You either drag this on your layer panel, you either drag it to this plus sign. There's a plus sign here. You drag it, it becomes a copy of, you see, you get a copy of the ellipse tool already. So we have one, we have it duplicated already. Or you can Control J. If you Control J, it automatically duplicates it for you also. So any of the two you choose to do, you can do that. So after doing that, you might want to maybe just for you to be able to see what you are doing, change the color of the one at the bottom. Then what you do next is you're going to increase the bottom one. Are you getting that? Or okay, let me just give you the basic one, the one that is easy. So after you've selected the bottom one, just click on stroke. You click on the ellipse tool, and on the top part you will see fill, you will see stroke. You click on stroke and stroke it with a white stroke. Then on the fill part, you now make that fill part no color at all. Now you can increase the stroke to maybe like 2, for instance. Now when I come here and reduce the top part of the other duplicated one, if I reduce it, just see what we get. Have you seen it? We have successfully created this thing that was done here. And you can increase your stroke as much as you want. You can change it to 5. You can reduce it to 1. You can have it as whatever size you want. So we have it at 5. Let's leave it at 5. 5 is, I think, then if it's 5, then we have to reduce this a bit. So I'm adjusting the shape all at once by holding Alt. So I think we have to be fast about this. So the next thing we want to do is we change the color to maybe white, so we see. The next thing is 4. I think that was what was there. Okay, $4. So I click on dollar and I just adjust the size and drag it there, adjust the size more and change the color. Remember the color is this, and adjust the size till I'm sure I'm going to be fast about it now so we can get it done as soon as possible. I guess that's the color. You can see that the way the dollar is, that's just basically the font. So you can change the font to make it look like that particular dollar if you want, if you actually want to get exactly that dollar. It's just the font that was used. So we have that already. The next thing is to type this, which is says order today, and the rest you can come down here, order today, order today. Don't worry, the color is there. I highlight it, Control A to highlight, then you change it to white. So I'm changing it to white, sorry about that. So we now have it white, and I'm going to adjust the size. So I think that's okay. It's in cap and low, so you have to change it. You take it off. You take that cap because it's cap and low. You can have O capital letter and T capital letter. So that is that. You can come here. I think it's here. Then we adjust. So basically, this has to do with creativity. You can place it wherever you want. You can have it to order today anywhere. You just have to do with your creativity. $4 order today. So anywhere you want to place it. For let's just go by what we have here. So if you check, the thickness was also adjusted. So we have the thickness of the font. So we have it narrow a bit. No, so let's have it bold a bit. No, regular is okay. So we have this. Then the next one is the phone number. I have a font that gives you icons, so you can download that. I'll drop the name of the font after this class for you to download. Let's just say I'm going to type 070 610 818 25, I guess. So so I guess I'm just going to work based on my discretion, so we are fast about it, so I won't be looking at that anymore. Bold. The next thing we need is a font of so this is the font. They call it type Picon. So you can get that font for a telephone number. We need a telephone number. Oh, sorry, I just messed up. We need a telephone number. Type Picon. This is not a telephone number. Okay, this is a telephone number. So you can use this, and let's change the color to yellow, just for the purpose of it. So it says contact us today, order now. Is there any other thing that it says? So it says whatever. So I'm just going to fill it up so we are fast. Let's assume we have a 2-line of this. I'm just going to use a Loris in to fill this part. So we are going to align it to this side and just have it like that. So just follow me. I'm not talking much because these are basic things. So you can increase the size to 10 or reduce it to 9, and then increase it and go to 1 line and make it a bit bold, and paragraph. So sorry, you might not have to, it's just to adjust that part, sorry. So I'm just going to use my discretion now to adjust it. Left to me, I wouldn't just scatter it the way it is. I'll professionally align it. Actually, that particular flyer was gotten from online. If it's left to me, I will align it properly, because people don't. This flyer is not professional. It's not as professional as possible. We will need to make sure your text are properly aligned. You need to make sure you can draw a ruler. This particular flyer is not as professional as we would want it to be, because the text are not properly arranged. So I was telling you that you should make sure that your text are properly arranged, some at least aligned properly. For instance, and if you want to know if they are actually aligned, you can draw a line from your left hand side to this place. How do you bring that out? You can just Control R to bring out that option. Then you drag it and align it properly. Then you can adjust this. You know, it looks neater. I don't know if I'm making sense. Like you had preferred this properly arranged to this. I don't know if you understand, because this is properly arranged. Your clients will definitely accept this to the other one. Then you can have other things here. What he had up here, I would have preferred adding it somewhere here. Maybe your Facebook and your Twitter, for instance. I can just do that here. Let's add them here. We can quickly add those here. Let me quickly add them. Let's assume we have just this. Okay, let's add Facebook, I think. Okay, let's add Facebook. So you have that here. You know, you can just adjust yourself. You know, so it's aligned. You know, you can see it. So that is basically that. I think we are done with every other part of it aside the top part. We won't be doing, I'm sure you can do this part yourself if you would want to. This one with the name, all you need to do is drag it. But I'm going to tell you how you can blend this top part now. That will be the final thing we are going to do. How do we blend it? Remember, I'm supposed to teach you people maxing, but maxing won't be on this. It's not on this particular what is it called? Course. This one, today's tutorial. Maxing is not on today's tutorial, but I'm going to show you a way you can do it using the tools we have taught you guys today. So how do we do that? On this layers panel, I'm going to click on resize. I'm resizing the layer because I can only work on this as though it's an image, not as when it's a shape. I cannot cut a shape. You see, it's bringing up. I got a call. Sorry, I got a call. Sorry about that. I got a call. Are you there? Are we there?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Sorry, I got a call. So
Yeah.
I cannot delete a shape. You see, it's bringing up error. If I want to cut a shape, it brings up error. So before I'll be able to cut this shape, I must resize the layer. You see, it has converted the layer to now it becomes an image. So what I'll now do next is I'll now pick my rectangular marquee tool and draw around this shape that I want to delete through. Then there's what is called fader. I'm sure as time goes on, you are going to want to use this particular tool called fader, because when you are cutting your images, it is the fader that helps you to balance it well. So that's a lot of information already. But for now, let's focus on this. I'm going to fader it. Where is the fader? This is it, fader. Now I'm going to fader by 100. I'm selecting the rectangle first. So it's gone, which is good. I'm deleting more than once. Then I come down, select this, resize, select it, option, fader 100, and delete. And I'm deleting more than once too. So you see, are we seeing it? I'm just giving you an instance. Then I can drag it down. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Then are you seeing it? You see,
Yes.
you see how we have been able to achieve what they did there. Looking at this tasty donut, first you will see that it has a shadow on it, like a drop shadow that makes it pop up. How do you achieve that? Once you select this, you go to your layer panel, option on it, go to blending option, and click on it. It's coming up. Then drop shadow. Can you see? Then you just adjust to what you want. Can you see that? That is that. So you see, we've added the shadow, and that is that with our flyer. We can reduce the you can do other things like but those are advanced classes. So Mr. Sam will be briefing us on that, because there is even still more to learn, because I can, as I'm working now, I was going to blur this. Let's do a Gaussian blur, you know. So let's end this class now. So I think it was a good lesson, right? Just to achieve what they did here. So that's that for the flyer.